Good morning, Friday meditators. Alan here with our drop-in meditation class. Good to be here. Good to be with you. I hope you're well on this rather cold and wet Friday morning. So, just a little technical thing. There has been a few problems with the picture freezing up. The traffic, NBM traffic, they tell me. And what I do is, if that happens, people see this kind of, the picture just freezes. I try a few things, but usually it doesn't work. So the key time seems to be about halfway through the session, about 10:30. If it happens, really it's the fate of our sessions in the NBM, the hands of the NBM. If something happens, probably helps if you just, where it says say something on the side, just say, the broadcast dropped out at 10:30 or whatever, and then we'll know. It just helps to know that actually what I'm seeing is what other people are seeing as well, and helps to identify the problem if we can see when it's happening. Anyway, hopefully today we'll have a completely clear run in our session. So that would be perfect. Okay, so all that's aside. Now you usually start with a quote to inspire us, and this one's from Lama Yeshe. The quote to inspire us, and this one's from Lama Yeshe, the wonderful one that chocolate runs out. So it's about this sort of meditation we're doing. The first session where we just do calm abiding or mindfulness meditation, where we're just watching the breath, and we're also watching for thoughts interrupting our concentration, taking our mind off the breath. So this is what Lama Yeshe says. Just one paragraph sums it all up very well. He says, in meditation, the goal is not to suppress thoughts and desires. This is impossible. It would be like trying to keep a pot of water from boiling by pressing tightly down on the lid. The only sensible approach is to train ourselves to observe our thoughts without following them. When we stop following our thoughts once we notice them, we deprive them of their compulsive energy. This is like removing the pot of boiling water from the stove. So those two key things. He says, observe the thoughts without following them. So we obviously have to be aware. This is the introspection where we're actually watching what's going on, just like spying on what's happening with our practice. So we're starting off with the breath, using our breath to give the mind something to do, very simple, watching the breath. And then we're also on guard for the distracting thought. Now, the thoughts will come. We're not trying to stop them, as Lama Yeshe said. It's like trying to stop a pot of water boiling by pressing down on the lid. So we're allowing the thoughts in, but we're also trying we're trying to notice that those thoughts are there as soon as they get there, or soon after. And then once we notice they're there, we let them go. So this is one of the ways to do this, is to give a little label to the thought, just to confirm that we've actually noticed it. So this could be just seeing, that's the that thought that keeps coming up about what I'm going to do this afternoon. You don't have to give it that many words, just like planning. That's me thinking about the garden. That's something that happened last night coming back into the mind, memory. And some of the thoughts may not please us. There'll be the good thoughts, the bad thoughts, the ugly thoughts. They're all equally likely to come into our session. And if we can just be even-handed with them, not reject some and accept others, just notice them all as thoughts. This is the practice. A bit like when we're watching, we're looking at the categories of movies. There's the horror movie, the comedy, the drama, the sitcom. Sort of browsing through Netflix or looking in the old days when we used to walk through the video shop and look at all the headings. So these thoughts could come into any of these categories. So some of them could be very interesting, just what we want. Some could be the opposite, very scary. So what Lama Yeshe says, notice them and then don't follow them. Let them go. Observe without following. No matter how interesting or how awful, just observe. This is really the key to this practice, mindfulness practice. Just over the page, he also says something about between sessions when we're not doing our formal mindfulness session. In whatever you do, be conscious of the actions of your body, speech, and mind. This too is meditation. So Lama Yeshe is just reminding us that we keep our mindfulness after the session, much as we can during the day, when we're doing our normal program, normal things, watching ourselves, watching the mind, just giving that distance, being conscious of our actions of body, speech, and mind. Actions, words, thoughts. So this just noticing means that we're going to stop following them. Just by noticing, we let go. All right, so that's the pep talk. So we'll do our usual breath awareness meditation. Now, as often, I usually mention that you can, if the breath is very calm and the mind is very calmly on the breath, it is possible to let go of the breath fully or partly and rest in that calmness, the stillness of the mind, and watch what's happening from the mind itself. So this is a place so we can watch the thoughts from the vantage of the breath, very physical. We're on the breath and then we're watching for the thoughts that are going to take us off the breath and let them go. Or we can watch the thoughts from the stillness of the mind itself. Maybe we can just have the breath there on the side, like a life buoy that we can hold on to if we're finding it a little bit hard to just stay in the mind itself. But wherever we are, the mind or the breath, we're on the lookout for the thoughts, the interrupting thoughts, and when looking for them, to see them and let them go. Notice and don't follow. Notice, don't follow. That's what we're doing. Okay, so and whatever the thoughts are, they're all welcome. Welcome to come and welcome to go. All right, so we'll begin and we'll start with motivation. Remember that this mindfulness practice becomes a virtuous practice, a Dharma practice, by giving it a good motivation, by going beyond our own peace of mind. Of course, it's great to do the practice to get peace of mind. That's part of it. But getting peace of mind for our own benefit and for the benefit of others, those around us, in our own world, those we make contact with during the day, and then the broad picture, all beings. We're on the path to calm the mind once and for all, becoming liberated, following what the Buddha did, becoming enlightened. And by doing that, we become a maximum benefit for all beings, having an enlightened mind, we can have unlimited power to help others. It's the big picture. All right, so let's get comfortable and we'll start. Okay, so remember, you can be sitting cross-legged, you can be sitting in a chair, lying down, whatever's a very comfortable position for you. The body needs to be comfortable, relaxed, for the mind to be comfortable and relaxed. So we now turn our attention inwards, our inner world. What's happening in the body, what's happening in the mind. Just checking our frame of mind, our attitude. Cultivating a positive attitude, first of all, by being grateful for the opportunity we have to sit together and do some practice. How amazing we have this time to take care of our mind. Be kind to our mind. Nurture the mind. Let's make use of the time well. And we remember, all this is to help calm the mind. And why do we want to calm the mind? For benefit of self and also those around us in our own life. And ultimately, to benefit all sentient beings, all beings in the world, are becoming a fully liberated being, a Buddha mind. And we'll just do the practice without great expectations, without any striving or driving, accepting what happens in our session. Starting now with our body, just scanning it for any uncomfortableness. Are we evenly balanced on the floor or the chair? Our eyes could be closed or just gently open, gazing ahead. Shoulders relaxed. Neck and head relaxed. The face and the eyes relaxed and soft. As we let go, you can feel a gentle pull of gravity into the earth on the body. And we give way to that, relinquish control, surrender to gravity, surrender to the earth. We can use the out breath to let go, breathing out, physical holding on, breathing out, mental holding on. Nothing to hold on to. And we start to notice the movement of the body with the breath. And give more and more attention to our breathing. watching what is already happening, as long as we're alive, watching the breath. Nothing to control. Feeling movement of the abdomen rising and falling. Feeling the air entering and leaving the nostrils. Feeling the movement of the whole body with each breath. Like coming home to the breath. Home is comfortable, familiar. Staying with the full flow of each in-breath, full flow of each out-breath. Staying with the breath, and now and again we check, are we on the breath? Are we on the object, or have we wandered? Are we in another place and time? We can't stop the thoughts, but we notice when we're distracted by thought. We can think, that thought. Notice, let go. Don't follow. Notice, let go. Back to the breath. Fully aware, wide awake. with the breath. Noticing the mind when there's no thoughts, that stillness. Noticing when there is a thought, when there's no thoughts. No thoughts, still, quiet. No suppressing thoughts. Noticing and letting go. Fully aware. we just relax and have a little break, stretch. So last time, I think it was week before last, I was trying to do the second session, meditation on impermanence, and dropped out the transmission. We couldn't do it. So I'm going to have another go at doing meditation on impermanence today. It's a very good one to do now with the coronavirus and the world changing day to day, minute by minute. So this meditation on impermanence is a very basic one for Buddhist practice. Very useful to remind ourselves that we are all changing moment by moment as bodies, as minds, and also the outside world changing moment by moment. Never has there been a better time to observe that. And of course, this is change that seems to be quite negative, or in many ways is very tragic, loss of life. But change can also have a positive aspect, because what's unpleasant, suffering, is also impermanent. That's externally, and also our own suffering, our own negative thoughts, negative emotions, also impermanent. So this also helps us to look at other people more positively, because the one person who might be giving us problems won't always be like that. We can change the way we view the world. We maybe can't change many things in the world. So change happens without our control. Things like we can go from good health to bad health, and from bad health to good health, wealth to poverty, success to non-success. This happens due to our previous actions, like they call it karma, and emotion, negative thought, negative tendencies in our mind, onto it. Just letting that fixed idea, loosening out that fixed idea, realizing that we can't actually have everything exactly the way we want it all the time. More loving kindness, less aversion, more equanimity, less partiality. So these things, these attitudes of mind are definitely within our control. By doing practicing more patience, loving kindness, compassion, we can increase the causes for positive emotions, positive thoughts. So this terrific quote sums it all up in praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, that prayer that we often do before teachings, where Shantideva, I think it is, mentions a few images of impermanence, very graphic, beautiful, poetic images to remind ourselves of impermanence. So, quote, a star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Conditioned things, everything in our immediate world, our external world, conditions, subject to causes and conditions, sometimes called samsara. everything, yeah, everything is dependent on causes and conditions. This idea of bear in mind as we do the practice. Basically, the practice is starting with the body. Of course, we know our body is impermanent intellectually, but this time we actually go right down into the cells and the parts, the organs. This is changing moment by moment. And of course, ultimately, our body is aging and eventually we'll die. We'll have to leave it. So the first meditation is on the body, impermanence of the body. It's our body, and then we can think of the impermanence of other bodies, those we love who've passed away already, our pets. And so we can deal with the mortality of our existence due to the impermanence of the body. Then with the mind is something we notice when we're doing meditation, how quickly things come into the mind. These feelings, images, memories. Sometimes there are happy thoughts, sometimes just neutral thoughts, sometimes negative thoughts, distressing thoughts. Sometimes we're feeling feelings of thoughts as too, emotions, feeling up, feeling down, fearful, neutral, attracted, repelled. So we watch that ever-changing parade of thoughts in the mind and acknowledge that with each meeting is a parting world in our consciousness. Then we look at external world, the very physical size of the world, the walls, the floors. We can give some thought to the physics of the world, something that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been talking about quite often in his abroad transmissions at the moment, live streaming. He says, as well as being a religious person, he's also a scientist, which is true. So we look at the physical world, and then we also include things like the disease in the world that's now gripping the world. It wasn't here before, it's here now, and it will pass. It's subject to causes and conditions. Also a little time, a few moments on the climate, another example of impermanence, subject to causes and conditions. So again, all these things are familiar, but we now rest our mind on them. We absorb them into our deeper levels of thought and consciousness. But then finally we just conclude that this reality of impermanence is part of our world. And we accept the idea of accepting, having a less grasping approach to our life and to the world, helps to develop renunciation, less expectations, less holding on, looking for good experiences and rejecting bad, seeing the limits of what the external world can provide. No lasting satisfaction, nothing to hold on to. So this is all part of realizing emptiness of phenomena. Phenomena don't have any essence. They're all subject to causes, conditions, including ourselves. This is phenomena don't have any essence. They're all subject to causes, conditions, including ourselves. This is developing our wisdom, really. Emptiness, essencelessness of phenomena. Having realized that, we help the ever-changing world. It's all the suffering that's happening in the ever-changing world. Feeling some compassion for all those beings like us who are experiencing suffering when they don't want it. That's basically the practice. Maybe a bit too much introduction, but so let's actually start, and hopefully we'll get through the session this time. All right, get comfortable. Just checking our position on the cushion, on the floor, wherever we are. Are we relaxed? A few moments on the breath, calming the mind, coming back to that stillness, mindfulness. And we begin our practice meditating on impermanence by starting with our body, filling our awareness with the body, sitting here doing the practice right now, doing the meditation on the cushion. This human body we have. What is the human body? Starting with the parts, analysis of the parts. There's the components of the body, the organs, the limbs, the bones, the lymph, the food passing through the body. There's the blood carrying nutrients around the body, carrying life-giving oxygen to feed the cells of the body. The air entering and leaving the body, mixing with the blood, undergoing chemical change in the body, and coming out of the body as carbon dioxide. The cells of the body growing and then being replaced. Constantly change in the body. Why is it constantly change in the body? Why is there change in the cells of the body? There are change in the atoms of the body, the constituents of the cells. The subatomic particles changing moment by moment. There's no building block in matter. Quantum physics shows there is no partless particle. Our bodies have no essence. They're partless particles, no building blocks that we can be sure of being unchanging. Think of our body when we were children, changing, growing, developing. No wrinkles. Thinking of the changes over the years, Not obvious, but if you look back, how we've changed. Because of momentary change, second by second, we see the macro change from year to year, decade to decade. Now, from now until the moment of death, our body will continue to change. Aging, death, inevitable. Accepting that reality. Accepting the reality of leaving the body at the moment of death. Ultimate change, ultimate impermanence, ultimate physical impermanence. The thought of releasing the body, letting go. We've already experienced impermanence of the body, when loss of loved ones, loss of just resting now in the reality of impermanence of the body, of our own body. Our own body. All subject to cause and condition, and the causes and conditions are changing moment by moment. Now, just leaving the body for the moment and moving to the mind, the changes in the mind, our mind. Call our session in the first part of the practice where we're watching the thoughts, how quickly they come and go. Like traffic flashing past, memories, thoughts, snippets of conversation, images, feelings, emotions, coming and going. Sometimes our mind is happy, sometimes disappointed, sometimes fearful, attracted, repelled, or just neutral. Recognizing that no state of mind is permanent. Each pleasant experience will come to an end. Each unpleasant experience will come to an end. Each meeting followed by a party. Recognizing this transient of mental experiences helps to reduce grasping, holding on to the good, rejecting the bad. Gives us equanimity. Just a thought. Just another experience. Our negative states of mind, subject to cause and condition based on ignorance and misconception, are impermanent. They can be eradicated if we tackle the cause, ignorance, seeing everything as inherently existent, grasping. We can undermine the negative states of mind, undermine, eradicate completely. Negative states of mind have no firm foundation, can be eradicated, impermanent. Positive states of mind based on truth, reality, can be increased infinitely. Compassion, patience, wisdom. Staying with that thought. The Buddha nature in all of us can be increased. Negative states can be eliminated. We can remove the clouds and bask in the sky of Buddha nature. Liberation. Create the causes, conditions of liberation. Now, the external world, what seems so stable, this room, buildings, the world around us, once we look closely, or ever-changing. Even the atoms in the walls of the room, changing moment by moment. The atoms themselves are composed of subatomic particles. There's nothing there. The more we look, there's less we can grasp. Quantum physics. Quantum physics confirms Buddha's philosophy, Buddha's wisdom. More obvious form of change is our natural world, the plants growing, decaying, the climate, obviously. We change the cause of the climate, we'll change the climate. Look at the bigger picture, the galaxy, the stars, the universe. Planets, galaxies, universes arising, disintegrating. The coronavirus, perfect example of change dramatically entering the world, dramatic changing the physical world, changing our mental world. So the conclusion is change is part of our world, impermanence, part of our reality, our bodies, our minds, all phenomena. Accepting and realizing impermanence lessens our grasping, our attachment, increases our wisdom, increases our peace of mind. Understanding the nature of reality. Nothing exists from its own side. This is understanding the wisdom of reality, wisdom of emptiness. The more we understand this reality, the more compassion we have for ourselves and all sentient beings who are in this reality of impermanence. So finally, we can dedicate any positive merit, positive imprints in our minds from today's practice, and all practice we've done in the past, we'll do in the future, towards our understanding of impermanence, wisdom realizing emptiness, compassion, and progress along the path to full Buddhahood, to liberation and Buddhahood. So just reading Lama Zopa's dedication. Due to the merits of the 3 types collected by me, and all the numberless Buddhas, the numberless sentient beings, may all wars, sicknesses, famine, torture, poverty, and economic problems in the world, or dangers of earth, water, fire, and wind be pacified immediately. May perfect peace and happiness prevail in everybody's hearts and lives. May the Buddha Dharma last for a long time. May the sentient beings in the world meet the Buddha Dharma. That's the session today. Thank you for being there. We got through it, I think, hopefully without any interruption. Wonderful to be here and have you there. So we'll be back again next week, the same time. Okay, ending the stream. Bye-bye.